felt abandoned. You know, she still wants to, we real good. She still wants to be friends, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to be friends with trying to protect my feelings. Well, I tell you this though, I am a member of Narcotics Anonymous, and in our literature it says, why would you want to get loaded over something that's subject to change tomorrow? Why would you want happens today that's subject to change tomorrow, meaning the feelings? Because most of the time we get loaded. I get loaded over the way I feel. Anxiety, frustration, anger, resentment, loneliness, abandonment, guilt, shame, and embarrassment, and humiliation is what I really get loaded off of. If y'all see me and y'all saw me walk out through the gate and I go wash the water, almost every other day I go to the beach down here in Long Beach because I live in Signal Hill. I go to the beach and I go read because I'm retired. I don't work no more. I'm medically retired. I go to the place where I can see my higher power at work. It's the water. I go to a place so that I can be calm in my spirit. I went out here today, right now when we was in the parking lot, and I looked down over there because when I was a little boy, every Saturday, we used to go out to Terminal Island. Every Saturday, we went to Terminal Island because we had to go see my father. My father's one of us. My father was a heroin user. I heard some people around here talking about they're alcoholic. And in our literature says alcohol is a drug. I do not go to no other fellowship but Narcotics Anonymous. That's it and that's all, and I ain't gonna be ashamed about it. I only do Narcotics Anonymous. I respect Narcotics Anonymous and I respect the other fellowships. But I went there just to remember, you know what I'm saying? Because as a little boy, I grew up in a house where I would watch somebody. I watched this man nod. As a little boy, I practiced the nod. I practiced the nod. As a little boy, I can remember my father had bought some balloons one time. He bought some balloons. I could have swore he bought them for me, my brothers and sisters. But he didn't give it to us, but when we got up in the morning, when I got up in the morning, he had all these little tiny little balls in his mouth of the colors of the balloon. As a little boy, I can remember going to the methadone clinic, and my father was going to the methadone clinic, and he would not speak to us until he spat in the cup. Wow. Damn. So I'm telling y'all, when I came into the room with narcotics and I was into recovery, into a treatment center, I did not believe that I was an addict because I know what an addict is. I know what it is. When it's some brown powder on an album cover, y'all know I'm old because I said album cover. And the album cover get knocked over into the carpet. I got to tell y'all this. Somebody can get their ass whooped. No. Because you can't get that out the carpet. I'm just telling you, that's where I grew up at. You know what I'm saying? But when I was a little boy, I can remember my father worked at the steel mill. But this disease, boy, it'll snatch you. You know, I grew up and my father turned out to be an addict. You know what I'm saying? My mother was a nurse. I watched a woman. It took me until I got grown. I watched a woman work hard as hell for 4 kids. I'm talking about worked worked. My mother worked to make sure that we didn't go without nothing. But you know what I'm saying? We didn't go up without nothing, but you know what I'm saying? I still come up in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Because for some strange reason, dudes standing outside looked attractive to me. I wanted to do just what they was doing. I wanted to be just like how they was, you know what I'm saying? I grew up, when we grew up in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? We grew up in the hood, you know what I'm saying? We grew up in the hood, you know. I come up and I come up gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? We got introduced to that. I went to school, you know what I'm saying, the junior high school I went to, you know, because I can remember the first time I went to this junior high school and we went to a school dance, and the school that I went to, they used to have these dances on Friday, and they used to call them sports night. And that's when they have dances. See, this is in 76. I'm a youngster in 76. You know, and I can remember going to this school dance, and the older dudes from my neighborhood was round the corner on the side of this building drinking. There wasn't no 40 ounces back then. It was quarts. Drinking Thunderbird, Silver Satin, and Night Train. Man, what? And I was drinking them with them. Yeah, you know that old stupid ass stand, I finally have arrived, you know what I'm saying? Man, I'm getting drunk with them, man. We going to the dance. I'm feeling kind of funny. So I sit down on the bleacher in the gym while everybody else is dancing. And then it seemed like a little while later, somebody came, get up, come on, man, it's time to go. What? My first time being out the house, like going to like a dance, a party or something. My first night out, I'm drunk. We walking home, I'm sick as a dog. I get in the house, I'm throwing up. The next morning, my next door neighbor say, it's a party and a couple of blocks over. We went. I can tell y'all, for me, that's where the idea was planted of the weekends and getting loaded and all of that. That started right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Me wanting to be a part of, that's what started that's what started this process of getting high. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever been treated and talked into? Had somebody ever tell you some old dumb, stupid shit? I'm talking about real dumb, stupid shit. I'm talking about real dumb, stupid shit. You don't know. Here, try some of this, man. This gonna get you fucked up. Any of y'all ever have some people tell y'all that? Yeah. You know that's real. You know I didn't pay attention when they told me that it was gonna fuck me up. You know what I'm saying? You didn't tell me that it was gonna fuck me up, fuck my mama up, fuck my daddy up, fuck my kids up, fuck my life up, fuck my job up. You told me when I was real young, you didn't try something good. It's gonna get you fucked up. I still didn't know why I wanted to get fucked up in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what you need to find out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened. I got fucked up. Yeah, we read in these things, we talked about it in Narcotics Anonymous, jails, institutions, and death. You know I got introduced to some of these things. You know what I'm saying? It was like a revolving door. You know what I'm saying? My brother going in and out, my father in and out, and all of a sudden I started going. You know, but I'm gonna go back and tell you, when it got to the mid-'80s, and my brother had just got out of WAG, and he heard that my cousin them was the man over them Watts with the dope sack, and so we went over there. They asked my cousin for some dope, and he gave us an 8-track. Man, we went back to the neighborhood and we didn't even know how to rock this dope up. Man, he's coming in powder, not this rock. I'm talking about powder, hard powder. And when our homeboys rocked this dope up, man, and we sold the dope out in 2 hours. We carried it to my cousin because he gave us on consignment. He said, man, we go like that. Yeah, go like that over here. And we started selling and we started coming up. At this time, I got to tell y'all, my mother was sick with cancer. I can remember for a long time, this lady would say, y'all just don't know how sick I am. She would always say that, but we didn't pay attention. I didn't. I can tell y'all right now, when my mama came home from work, y'all see this side of the room right here? This side. When she came home from work, that's how many people were standing out in front of our house. In front of our house when my mama didn't work all day long. You couldn't come in our house, but you was in our front yard. Or when dudes used to come over to our house, don't knock on the front door. Go down our driveway, come to the back door to me and my brother's room. You know what I'm saying? We had initiations in the backyard. I can remember, man, we got our house shot up one time. That's the reason why we had to move. You ever been some other place? I'm going to say if it's a few of y'all if you from a neighborhood. And if you grew up in this neighborhood that you ever thought, I'm never going to move away from this neighborhood. This is my neighborhood. And man, we got our house shot up, man, and my mother wasn't going to stay there. My mother was going through cancer. She was going through chemo and radiation, and we was still out there doing our thing. So anyway, I wound up going to jail this one time, and when I got out, we wasn't living what we used to live. My mother had made a decision that she was going to move back into the house with her mother because she was that sick. Now, at this time, like I said, my brother, we started selling this dope. If we rolling and coming up. Then one day, my brothers came up with this idea, man, let's try this. And we tried this and smoked some Primos. And I said, woo-wee, this is a bad-ass high. And about 15 minutes later, my brother said, that high is cool, but I don't like it, don't last long. I don't like it. And if you know if you know my brother, whatever my brother didn't like or like, I was supposed to follow suit. But I didn't, man, I like this stuff. Yeah, I bet you. I'm talking about this in the 80s, y'all. I don't know if y'all remember when people was talking about when they was curve surfing, selling dope off the cone. Yeah. Me and my brother was the first young dudes in our neighborhood doing this. Man, can you imagine selling dope and wish you would no cars come up? Yeah. That's how I was. We selling dope, and I'm on the corner selling, wishing, hoping don't nobody come, so I can leave from this corner, go back to the backyard of the house, and go smoke this day. That's how it was. I couldn't stand when homeboy come, man, y'all coming out today selling it? Damn, yeah. Anyway, y'all, look. My mother found out that we were selling dope. Now, I got to tell y'all this. My mother had an unwritten policy. It was unwritten. She didn't mind. I told you I was gangbanging, but she didn't mind nothing that we did. But there was one thing that she did mind. Don't mess with dope. You see your father. So she came over to ask us was we selling dope. I said no, because somebody got to be right in this woman's eyes. We just some mess up. Well, she asked my brother the first thing, Dad, I'm selling dope. I'm like, what you tell her that for? 2 weeks later, I'm in the county jail. Wow. I'm in HOJJ. Y'all know that I'm telling you, HOJJ been closed down for long. I'm in HOJJ. I'm a trustee in HOJJ. I done got, look, this one night, man, we playing blackjack and I done got broke. I call home to see who is coming to bring me some money, because somebody almost every other day is bringing me some money. And they said, my sister said, Mama coming to bring you some money today. Y'all should have seen how mad I was. Y'all should have seen how ungrateful I was. Y'all should have seen how disappointed I was. Because my mother couldn't even, I don't know if y'all ever seen them, like in 83, how long the lines were at the county jails. We used to go there all the time, call out all the homeboys and this. Man, then you make how long the lines was? Imagine my mama with cancer, taking chemo and radiation treatment. How she gonna stand in a line like that damn long? That's why I was mad and disappointed, because I wasn't gonna get what I want. Selfish and self-centered. So y'all know the next day, when I called home to ask who was gonna bring me some money, they told me that Mama died. My mother had died. Y'all remember how I was thinking the day before? How I was mad at my mother coming to visit her oldest child? Her oldest child? Her child that she thought that he was going to do everything, you know what I'm saying? The child, I remember my younger sister told my wife, my mother loved this boy. She gave him everything. She did all kind of stuff for him. Y'all know I was messed up. The day of the funeral, I got bailed out of there. After the funeral, I was getting ready to go into get in the car, the family car, and my grandmother grabbed me. And she told me, if it wasn't for you and your brother out there doing the things you was doing, my daughter would have never had died from cancer. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. In the rooms of narcotics and arms and these other fellas, when we talk about the disease of addiction, it's spiritual in nature. And in words are spirit. Those words linger a whole lot. And so y'all know I wasn't finna go to the repast at my grandma's house thinking that this lady think that I killed my mother. Not only did she think it, I thought it too. I thought because of the way I grew up in my action that I had caused my mother to be sick. So y'all know what I did. Y'all know what drugs are. Drugs is just like a vehicle. It's a car. It takes you from one place that you are at to a place that you think you want to go. I want to get away from guilt, shame, and embarrassment. I want to get away from this hurt. You know what I'm saying? What happens is when I get loaded, this stops talking and this stops feeling. Meaning our higher power is so bad, he has placed safeguards on us to protect ourselves. When this stop talking and this stop feeling, I will do things that I said I would never do. Maybe some of y'all might not understand that. You know what I'm saying? Because probably after that, you know, I'm really in and out of these jails. I'm really in some places. You know what I'm saying? Man, I can remember I had this moment of clarity. I was living in a filthy, funky, dirty, nasty ass house. No gas, no lights, no motherfucking water. That had a big ass picture glass window like this. That had a quilt to cover it up because the glass window, it wasn't no glass in it. That when it got cold, I balled my ass up in there. I was being around El Segundo and Willowbrook and Compton, and my grandmother happened to see me. I was on my way to go to the store to go get a loaf of bread, $1 worth of salami, and a 50-cent canned soda. But my grandmother seen me, and she busted you and pulled up on me, and she said, "Baby, I can't die in peace unless I know you're doing all right." But the disease of addiction that I suffered from didn't want me to hear what my grandmother was trying to tell me. It took me back It's not only my disease has a way of taking me and showing me a picture of the past, and I'm going to show the picture of the past, it brings up them same damn feelings that I felt. So y'all know what I had to do. I didn't want to feel and I didn't want to think. So y'all know I had to go get one. This disease. You know, remember when I told you in the beginning, why would you want to mess with something that was responsible for putting you in the worst predicament in your life? Why would you want to get high over something today that's subject to change tomorrow? I found that out in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. How much time I got? Okay. Well, I wind up going to a treatment center a little bit after that. I went into a program which is called, I'm going to say my program that I came to was called Castle East. They have Narcotics Anonymous meeting down in the basement. I got introduced to Narcotics Anonymous down in the basement. But what happened was, it's important that I tell you that I got freed down in the basement. Because it was a co-ed facility, and in that facility, I was working in the kitchen. This boy and this girl, they liked each other. They kissed, but I didn't want to tell. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't tell nobody where I come from. So they asked Earl, "Did you see what happened?" No. I didn't see nothing. So they put me out in the middle of the floor. Back then, when I got clean, they used to do this thing what they call group. Well, the program would be 50 peers of your peers. They put you in the middle of the floor and they tell you about your motherfucking self. I don't know. I got clean in 91. Y'all hear that? I got clean in 91. I ain't left. My clean date is October the 7th, 1991. I've been clean for 33 years. So look, I'm down in the basement and I don't want to tell, but this program, a member of Narcotics Anonymous who's a counselor, asked me, well, if you don't want to tell nobody, then tell them yourself. I've heard people come in and share their experience with the note. I heard people talking about these deep dark secrets. I heard people say some things that they would talk about they would go to the grave with, and so I figured, they didn't give me an opportunity. I'm gonna go ahead and tell this. You know, I told them the story like I'm telling y'all. I killed my brother, and Elder Ruth got fired. And this man who was a member of Narcotics Anonymous said, "Who gave you the power to give your mother cancer?" I've been sitting in these rooms. We admit that we're powerless over our addictions, that our lives are becoming manageable. They talk about here in the rooms of recovery, powerless. We're powerless over people, places, and things, and situations. And even when I didn't think I was paying attention, I was paying attention. Y'all ever heard this stupid ass saying, freedom from the bondage of self? I was surrounded by 50 people in the middle of the floor. And you have to sit like this while the group tell you about yourself. And I felt a burden of relief. I felt that bondage being relieved. Guess what happened? I got freed down in the basement, and I got freed because the members of Narcotics Anonymous shared experience with me. I got free. Remember, prior to seeing my grandmother, I can remember walking down the street and I said, "God, please help me." Ooh, wee! My God has answered my prayer. My prayer answered. But when I got cancer, when I had lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's disease, it did not faze me. When I went through chemo, I was sick a whole lot, but I was cool. When I went through radiation, they told me radiation and chemo ain't working for you. You're going to have something else. So I wound up having this thing called a stem cell transplant out of the silicone. For that, I'm forever grateful. But the problem is that because of my inability to accept personal responsibility, I've been actually creating my own problem. I had this little lump that was up under my arm. Y'all ball up y'all fist. Ball up your fist. I need you for the briefing ball up your fist. See, I had a little pimple, like you have a pimple on your face. It was like that on my arm for about 6 months. And then it went to a fist.
Oh.
But hey, look, it's gonna go down. It's gonna go back down. And it never did. And all my medical issues now, and everything that's going on in my life, and probably some of the reasons why my wife is leaving is because my inability to accept personal responsibility, but I was actually creating my own problem. I have a defibrillator in my chest because my heart is getting weak. My teeth is out. That's because there's something there's another type of gland that sits on the thyroid gland. It's called the hypothalamus that is hyperactive, that has drawn the calcium from my teeth and from my bones. Because of my inability to accept personal responsibility, I've actually created my own problem. Because I had got this thing put in my chest, I wound up losing my job. I used to work for Union Pacific Railroad, 10 minutes away from my house. Thank you, God. You've answered my prayer. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am one of those grateful addicts. I am grateful. God, let me go out to the beach every day and enjoy every day. I call and talk to my kids. My kids have the ability to tell me any and everything, good, bad, and indifferent, about what's going on in their life without being worried about it. When my youngest son told me that he was gay, the boy that I raised, I raised this boy. I raised this boy. Y'all remember when I told you I was sick with the cancer? When I got cancer, he was born. When I took chemo, I took him to the hospital with me to go get my treatment. When I did everything with this boy. When I got out the hospital, I went and got custody of this boy. Everybody in the room for Narcotics Anonymous, when I go to a meeting, they know my son. My son is about to be 24 years old. And he told me that he was gay. And man, he was scared to tell me, but he told me. But I had to tell him, look, dude, you my dude. I love you, no man. I love you. I love you, and I tell my kids every day, I love you. Tell that boy specifically, I love you. My daughter has multiple sclerosis. She walking around like this, but her fist balled up. Then had numerous strokes, seizures, and I make sure that I encourage her every day. Baby, get that ball, get that putty, get your hand together. Come on. We can do this thing. I'm trying to tell you, you can do this thing right here. You can get clean and stay clean. You can. You can get this thing. I knew every time when I walked through the threshold of this door, y'all didn't know it. Y'all wasn't here just for y'all. Y'all was here just for me. He shared the message that I need to hear. He talked about what I'm going through right here, right now, today. Guess what I got? I got a message telling me about what I'm going through, and to be careful and to be mindful. I'm telling you, if you are here today, the higher power has answered your prayer. I'm here to tell you that the message of Narcotics Anonymous, it says that an addict, any addict, don't have to use, can use the desire to use and stop using drugs. Our message is hope and the promise of freedom. And I'm telling you, the promise is freedom. If you ain't never had a friend in your motherfucking life, I guarantee you keep going to meetings, man, you're going to have a friend, you're going to have a, man, I got a big brother. I got a friend in the room with Narcotics Anonymous that, man, look, I can tell him anything. If I look, I need he right on the Jimmy on the spot. Call me. I got people come, girl, how you doing today? Oh, you okay? You all right? And they don't even know the situation that I'm in right now. Because I don't tell everybody what's going on with me. But I'm seeing people just call us, brother, I was just calling to see how you doing today. Every day I get a message from a friend saying good morning. Which makes me send out a good morning. You know what I'm saying? Man, look, my life is too good to get high. I ain't gonna be one of them old dummies. Yeah, man, what you need, man? I need some of that shit that's gonna make everybody in my life hate me. Yeah, man, what you need, man? Man, I'm gonna get some of that shit that's gonna take away my freedom.
Period.
Yeah, what you need, man? Some of that stuff that's gonna make my kids hate me. You know what I'm saying? You know, when a child calls their mother and father out their name, they ain't calling their mother and father out their name. They calling the zip out their name. Because what happens is there's a stranger in front of them. There's a stranger in front of them. Because their mother and father ain't never treated them like that. But the disease of addiction will. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could have said something that made you want to stay here another day. But I hate to tell y'all, if I didn't, I guess I can tell y'all who did say something that made somebody want to stay here another day. Me? I'm gonna be like the bad boys. I ain't go went nowhere. Man, look. Don't go serious. Look, I came here. I bet you I said some stuff that made some few people laugh. Old boy was looking at me like, "Wow, this dude must be crazy." But I was real though. I seen my man. I said, "Man, is this all right if I call you Oos?" Didn't I say that up? I was like, "Man, he look like my homeboy Luther." Look, I told y'all again, there's going to be somebody that's going to come into your life in the meeting somewhere. That's going to, for some sort, if I didn't connect with none of y'all, I'm seeing one day, just don't get loaded, go to a whole lot of meetings, and somebody is going to come and share something from this podium that's going to click on this whole entire thing. There's going to be somebody, what we call the sponsor, that's going to guide you. They say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Don't leave 5 minutes until the miracle happens. And the miracle is happening more than 5 minutes. Let the miracle continue to happen. You know what I'm saying? Get into the process. I wish I could have said something to make me. I'm telling you, on the for real. I'm sorry that I cuss so much. But I tell you though, there is nothing in this world that will ever make me give up my clean game.
That's right.
Because I've seen too much. I have experienced the full fruit of the labor and the harvest of these steps and the traditions and in the people and in the meeting. Man, it's a whole lot of stuff, man. I think I know it's more people that speak more profoundly than me. Yeah, there is a whole lot of them. Boy, I wish y'all, if y'all ever hear my friend, Randy Q. Yeah. Randy Keonis. Yeah. Boy, if y'all hear Randy, I tell Randy, man, every time I see Randy, you know you my favorite speaker, he be like, pearl, you know, just, no, Randy, I'm fucking for real. Man, and if y'all ever would have been here long enough to hear the diva, man, I was raised on beans and greens, home. Florence. Man, y'all see. Man, I'm gonna tell y'all, man, it's gonna be some people here man that's gonna bring some joy to your life.
That's right.
I'm saying, get this joy. Thank you for allowing me to share.
That's right.